Danny, good morning.
Good morning, Toby.
Thank you very much for taking the time to do this. I really appreciate it. And I know it's only going to be a quick sort of conversation, but I thought perhaps we could start off, if you wouldn't mind telling me a little bit of background about Gold Coast Cruises, about the business, and we'll talk about our engagement and how that's been working for you, if that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, certainly. So basically, I'm the marketing events manager for a business called Gold Coast Cruises. The vessel is actually called the Lady, and we're a commercial charter business based on the northern end of the Gold Coast, berthed in Sanctuary Cove. So we're just one vessel. We're a 130-ton steel catamaran, commercially licensed for 190 passengers. That is our maximum capacity. We often don't host, a lot of our events that we host, probably the maximum we go to is about 130 people on board plus crew. And our business offers private charter cruises for events like weddings. So weddings is a big part of our businesses. We've got 2 successful packages that we run. And outside of that, other private charter cruises include, corporate functions, events like birthday parties and other celebration cruises. And then the other part of what we do is we operate our public cruises. So we've got 2 of those. One of them's our Sunday Fun Day cruise with a live band street cafe, and that's really successful. Right. And then we started the karaoke cruise, which is now also running incredibly well. So we do karaoke. So they're our Sunday leisure cruises that we operate for the general public.
Fantastic. Thank you. And so in terms of marketing and prior to engaging us, what sort of marketing were you doing and how was the business going prior to working with us?
Right. Okay. So, the business has been operating on the Gold Coast since 2000, and the previous owners also ran a very successful business for 20 years before the current owner took ownership of the business in 2017. So I've been on board with Eddie, who's the owner of the business, since 2019, in April 2019. When I came on board, they sort of inherited a website that was pretty old and that needed updating. So my first engagement was to work on updating the website. And, that sort of happened during a period of COVID happened. So I worked to update the website. And, the bookings were running fairly well when I came on board. However, I do have to say that since engaging Indigo Digital, we have experienced a massive spike in our inquiries. And the marketing previously, like when I came on board, there was no access to the Facebook account. No one could find access to that, so I had to set up new social media profiles. Yes. On Facebook, and I started an Instagram profile. But generally speaking, I think most of the marketing that Eddie was doing at that point was really pinpointing previous clients to sort of drum up business, and a lot of it was word of mouth. Right. So there was really no online strategy as such in terms of the Google footprint. Right,
great. And so wedding bookings in particular, prior to engaging us, they were coming through, but yes. I think they're a little bit sporadic from recollection. Is that fair?
Yes. Look, certainly it's absolutely 100%. We're very clear that since we've had you guys on board that, it's really increased our booking space massively. So particularly post-COVID, which is wonderful.
Well, exactly. In fact, before we started recording, you were saying, how many weddings have you got coming up? And you were saying you were pretty flat out.
Yes. Well, it's really exciting. So, just in the last 10 days, I've taken 11 new wedding bookings. That's just for weddings, and 6 of those have populated dates for this year, right up until December We already have a lot of dates booked. A lot of our weekends are already booked out. So now I'm taking a lot of bookings for midweek, which is kind of new. So we haven't really focused so much in that, but now that's beginning to happen. So it's really exciting.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't ask you to prepare this, but just off the top of my head, do you have any sense of what the actual annual number of bookings was prior to working with us, and what that number is now? I mean, or is it don't worry if you don't have it.
Yeah, no, that's a hard one. I didn't go into all of the figure breakdown. I just know, like, you know, from my experience since working with Eddie for the last 4 years, what I've experienced. And there's a genuine spike across the board with all of our bookings. You know, even in the corporate space, we've started to engage a lot more corporates, and particularly with the Christmas functions. I mean, I've already booked out a lot of Christmas functions for November, December, you know, which was happening before, but perhaps not on this scale.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. That's awesome. And so just perhaps to wrap up, in terms of working with this, is there any particular aspect of working with us, whether it's the technology, our processes, you know, client service or anything? Is there anything particular you feel you get a lot of value out of?
Well, absolutely. I mean, look, I've made a note of a few of the things here. I mean, look, since we've engaged Indigo Digital, it's just been awesome. So particularly with our online SEO presence, you know, that it's very clear. We basically show up on the first page of Google often when people are Googling venues, you know, with various searches related to function venues and weddings on the Gold Coast, and boat cruises on the Gold Coast. That wasn't happening before. We didn't have a space. We weren't showing up on the first page. And, you know, with the understanding, which is very little, I mean, I try to have some understanding, and you guys have educated me a lot in this space, with Google's algorithms sort of constantly changing. The Indigo Digital team are constantly working to update our keywords and to improve our Google footprint and online presence. And that's very, very clear. In terms of our Google ads, you know, we've handed that over to you guys to manage. And we love the fact that, you know, we can sort of choose what our spend is, but consistently working together with you in terms of what product we want to market. And we are having great success with the click-throughs from the ads that Indigo creates for us, for our business. So coming to the next point, which I absolutely love, and it's fantastic, is your marketing hub platform, which is a great tool, and it is unique to Indigo. I've just found it amazing. Online with this tool, we can access real-time statistics and see the performance of our website, our social media channels, access client reviews immediately, and you know, back into the advertising intelligence. So it's all real-time statistics that we can see there, and basically how we're performing across the whole Google space as a whole, if you like. Yeah, and I love the technology of that because it's user-friendly. You know, I mean, I probably don't use it as much as I should. I'm kind of a little bit time poor, but I just love it because everything's in one place and it's all real time. And I really would recommend this to any business, small or large. You know, we're only one vessel, but I think since we've come on with Indigo, you guys treat us like royalty. We're so well looked after. You know, working with yourself, with Kirsten, and also with Joe, who's based up here on the Gold Coast. You've always been super friendly to deal with, and accessible, you know, with any questions that I've had around anything to do with the marketing space of the business. So as far as I'm concerned, you get a 5-star rating from us.
Thank you. That is so kind of you. Thank you. We love working with you. We really appreciate your business, and it's been great to see just the growth. And, you know, it's exciting, and it's very fulfilling for us too to see how, you know, our inputs have helped grow the business so much. It's, you know, it's great. So
Genuinely, yes, absolutely, 100%. It's very exciting. I mean, look, we did try to engage, you know, without saying too much, a couple of other marketing people, and there's just the product, the service, everything. It's just above and beyond what I believe is out there. And we're just delighted, you know, that we've engaged you guys. I think we've had you on board now for a couple of years, and it's been wonderful.
Thanks. We really, really appreciate it. And it's so kind of you to do this video. Really appreciate that as well.
You're welcome.
I don't have any other questions. I appreciate the time and really look forward to continuing the relationship. Thanks, Danny.
Thank you, Toby. We do too. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.